Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of T-Dog RC. We're back in my kitchen again. Just a little easier to show you things here than it is in the workshop, as long as I'm not actually doing any work, of course, because I don't fancy taking a scalpel etc to this work surface. But today is an unboxing and showing you basically what my latest project is for the winter. And here it is. It is a Seagull Extra EA 300L. Almost ready to fly version. So this is balsa and ply construction. Obviously you will have seen this from the preview. This is of the video, that this is what I'm going to be talking about. But what you won't have seen is what I'm going to power it with. And this is what I've got to power it with. That might give you a clue. So this is a second-hand engine, nitro engine, that I bought off eBay, and it is an ASP 52. It's in really nice condition. The only thing that is wrong with it is it's got a missing silencer bolt. But I've been able to get some replacement ones. So I've got a couple of extra replacement bolts there from Just Engines, great shop here in the UK, justengines.co.uk. And I've bought a couple of extra bits. With it being a second-hand engine, I'm not quite sure how old it is. I've bought a new O-ring for the carburetor, and I've also bought new O-ring for the needle valve, just the O-ring that sits inside. You probably can't see it from there. So it's going to be the O-ring that sits inside here, because they're made of rubber, so they can perish over time, and that can cause air to get in through the needle valve and cause problems with your mixture. But as you can see, it's in really good condition. It's got the remote needle valve as well, which is nice. Really nice and clean. Throttle moves really smoothly. It's got really good compression. So I can turn it over without the prop on, but yeah, really good compression, and I think it's an ABC one, because I'm not sure you're going to be able to see in there. Don't think you will do, but you can tell by the lining in there that it's an ABC engine. So appreciate ASP, you know, it's not OS, it's not Irvin, but I've had quite a few ASP and SC engines in the past, and I'll be honest, I've never really had any problems with them at all. They run absolutely fine. And the thing is, I got this off eBay for £25, which for me, I think is an absolute bargain. And I think this is going to go perfect in the model, because it's based around a 46 size, and this is around about 46 in terms of the physical size, but obviously the capacity is it's a 52, so it's going to have that extra bit of power, which really should power that along nicely. So let's I'll get the camera over the top here so we can have a closer look. We'll get the lid off the box, and let's take a look at what we've got. And as usual, just want to say thanks to everyone who supports the channel, all the people that comment, obviously all the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you are into fixed wing RC, mainly balsa nitro stuff, or balsa and electric, and also the odd FPV wing and EDFs as well, is another passion of mine. If you're into anything like that, then you want to subscribe to my channel basically. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. So just hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoy the video, another thing that really helps me out is giving me a thumbs up and liking the video as well. So I'd appreciate it if you could help me out by hitting the like button. Right, let's get stuck into this. Okay, so hopefully that's an okay camera angle for you. It's a bit difficult to see with the tripod up so high. Now I will confess, I've had a look in this before, and I have actually basically I've had this model for probably, it's got to be 2 years. It's been in my loft, and I've not really had a look at it since. But I did start to do, I think I did just a very small bit of work on it, and I just attached the hinges to the rudder and the elevator, I think. But let's take a look anyway, see what we've got. So we've got a nice manual to start with, which is great. And this is a ARTF sort of thing, so it will involve doing a little bit of work, but it's nothing like, say, the Tony Nyhouse Nat that I've just built, which is completely more or less from scratch. This is obviously largely done for you, but talks you through step by step in here. Obviously you can make this electric as well, and I did actually buy the motor for this as well when I bought the model. So I already had the motor and everything, but I've had a change of heart and I've just decided that I wanted to make it nitro. The thing with nitro is, I mean, I love engines anyway, so that's always been one of the things that appeals to me about this hobby, is that it can, if you want it to, use real engines, which I love. Batteries are getting so expensive now, and since Hobby King doesn't really ship to the UK anymore, that's where I used to get all my batteries from. And with nitro, you get a lot longer out of a flight. You know, this is going to be probably 10 minutes with a full tank out of a flight. So, you know, it is a bit messy at times, and of course it's a bit noisy, but that's sometimes part of the fun. So it tells you about putting the fuel tank in here. We've got a picture of the engine there. So the engine's got to be mounted on its side, I believe, in this. So quite comprehensive instructions. You can see there's a lot of text there as well as pictures. Putting the servos in there, hooking the tail wheel up. So all that stuff. It actually doesn't show you, I don't think, how to do an electric motor, but you definitely can put an electric motor on this, I know for sure. But it seems to only show putting a nitro engine in. Anyway, that's that. Then we've got some decals, and this is sort of scale model. So I really like the colour scheme on this as well. I think it's really nice. So we've got a few sort of scale decals there, like these Champion stickers. So that should look quite nice when we've got those on. And also an International Aerobatics Club sticker. We've got the horizontal stab, and as I mentioned, I've already glued these hinges in place. The horns were already put on, but they've I haven't noticed before, but it looks like there's quite a bit of glue sort of spilled around there. But anyway, yeah, they're pre-done. But I've already fastened the hinges in place, so that's fine. That's a solid piece as well. It's actually quite a chunky piece of balsa, of course, which is the only downside to these sorts of models. Often they don't come with built-up tails, which are going to be a lot lighter. And then we've got one of the wings here. So I've not done anything to this, I don't believe, although it was a little while ago. A couple of blemishes in the covering there, where I think probably where those control horns have been digging in. So that's one to watch. But again, control horns already fastened on. Looks like I have done the hinges on this. Yeah, because they're definitely not coming out. So the only, I mean, they are nice big ailerons, to be fair, although that's going to need some persuasion. That's better. So it's not, although obviously Extra is traditionally like a 3D aircraft, this particular kit or model isn't really 3D because it's not got massive surfaces on. But saying that, these are pretty big, so it should still have plenty of aerobatic capability. So that's one of the wings. Let me just go through the spec with you so you know how big it is. So the wingspan's 54 inches and the fuselage is 44 inches. Yes, and it does say you definitely can put electric on it as well. And this is the new version, but I suspect even though this is classed as the new version of this model, it's still quite an old design, quite an old one. And it's covered in aura cover as well, which is nice. So another wing here, which is always reassuring that there's two wings. Be a bit of a problem if there wasn't. Again, control horns already installed. That's in a bit better nick. The only thing I really don't like is these hinges feel awful, but we're going to have to do some serious loosening of those. But yeah, nicely covered. Really like the design. Like I say, it's quite a cool design. And of course, always like the red, white, and blue colours. I love the way they finish these as well. Around when you look at the way they finish the covering around like the roots here and stuff. It's so neat. Really good job. So that's the other wing. Then we've got the vertical stab, which again, I've already done some of the hinges on this, and that is actually a nice big rudder as well, so that will give you, I imagine it's going to knife edge quite nicely. But again, this is quite a hunk of balsa wood. I don't think that is a solid piece of balsa wood actually. I think that actually is probably a built-up construction. But it's fairly light, but probably could be a bit lighter. And then we've got the main event under here. So pretty nicely packed. What we got under here? Interesting. I've got some 5-minute epoxy. Didn't even know I had that. Some Zap stuff. That's nice. It's amazing some of the stuff. I just buy these things and then put them in my loft, and I forget often what I've actually got. Let's hope that's still nice, and yeah, that looks okay. It's not gone off. Although, so that's nice. It's good quality stuff as well, Zap. Obviously that doesn't come with the kit. I've bought that separately, and I've even bought some medium CA there as well, which again, didn't realise I'd even got that. So there we are. We've got a whole bag of accessories here, all sorts of stuff. What's this? That is the electric conversion kit. So you do get that with it, and that's the motor box, and you get some straps for the battery. So that's quite nice that they've included that. But I won't be using that, as I've said. We've got some aluminium undercarriage, nice and strong, and then some nice wheel spats as well, which are obviously done as the same colour as the covering, which look quite cool. I like that. What's this? I think they're just for covering the where the undercarriage legs come out. And then, yeah, we've got a whole bag of stuff. A couple of pilots. I probably won't use these if I'm honest. I'm not always a fan of pilots, as I've said before in some of my videos. I don't know, I just think it can make it look a bit like a toy, which it isn't a toy. And we've got a nice big spinner and some foam wheels there. What's this? That's the engine mount. So I'll be using that. And then you have got a little accessory pack here. So we've got control horns in there, which is interesting because most of the control horns already appear to be on the model. But these are like G10 control horns. So trying to think what they'll be for. Probably maybe for the rudder. Because did that have a control horn on it? No, it hasn't. So that's probably what... so maybe it's... I'm not actually sure. It might be like a pull-pull type system. There's a little bit of random triangle in there. I don't know what that's for. Whether that's even meant to be in there. And also in this little bag we've got wing bolts. I imagine they're for the undercarriage, these bolts here. So that'll be for the wheels, should I say, to go around. And there's an elastic band, not quite sure what that's for, but all will be revealed, I'm sure, and a couple of quick keepers there. Then you do get a fuel tank. I'm not sure whether I'll use that tank because I really like Dubro tanks, they're my favourite, so I'll probably buy a Dubro tank to go in this, but you do get one anyway. Not quite sure what that's going to be for, but piece of plywood. And then we've got the tail wheel assembly, which again, that's quite a hefty piece of aluminium there, so that's going to be a pretty strong tail wheel. So that's what you get in the accessory pack. Then we've got a pack of push rods with clevises on the end, and that's quite nice. They've included the little silicone bit of tube in there to secure those in place. So that's nice to see that, and it looks like there's a bit of snake as well included there for the throttle linkage. So Z-bend's already put in. So yeah, that's all good. Then we've got a wing tube, aluminium wing tube, pretty standard stuff. We've got the canopy here. Let's have a look at this. Quite nicely packed with some paper as well to protect it. Yeah, nice clear canopy there. Pre-painted, so that's all good. It's going to be interesting to see actually how it tells you to fasten the canopy on, whether you screw it on or whether they recommend using some sort of glue to stick it on. And then the other thing we've got here is a nice chunky cowl, and again wrapped in paper as well. Look at that. That is a nice cowl. Do you know what? Was that piece of ply that we found? I wonder if that goes inside here. No, I don't think it does. But yeah, that is really nice paint job on that as well. Brilliant paint job. So that's going to look great. And then, last but not least, we've got the fuselage. Let's have a look. So really nice looking fuselage, nice and chunky as well. With it being an extra, and it looks like as well, I mean that firewall there, that is really solid. That's really thick ply. Blind nuts already put in place, which is nice, and they've even glued the blind nuts in as well. And what's nice as well, they've varnished all this, so it looks like they've already put fuel proofer on here, which is a nice touch, because other models I've had like this, you have to do it yourself, although I'm not sure that they've put it on the inside here, so I'll probably still just put a little bit around the inside. But nice and light and really nice covering. There's a couple of thumb screws here, so let's just take these out. I'm assuming this whole canopy just lifts, this whole hatch just lifts off. Some cockpit detail there, some dials and stuff, so that's quite good. And I believe, although I've not looked into it in much detail to be honest, but I think the AL version means that it's like a twin seat extra, whereas normally of course a lot of the extras are just single seater. So let's see if this comes off then. There we are, nice big hatch, huge hatch. And then there it is inside. So as you can see, very nice construction inside. I do always love looking at these things. Obviously they're all CNC design. This is all light ply in here by the looks of it, with balsa sheeting. But yeah, nice cutouts for the servos, and fuel tank's obviously going to sit here. So yeah, looking good. And then they've already got all the snakes in there already pre-installed for the metal push rods to run through, which are going to exit out at the back here. So pretty nice, I think. So I think what we'll do is we'll just stick the wings on and the tailplane and see what it's going to look like. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So roughly put together, wings on, tail in place. The vertical stabilizer is only just, if I touch it, that's going to fall off because it needs the bottom hinge fastened in place. But yeah, it's a really nice size model. Quite easy to get in the car. You know, it's not going to take loads of space up, but it's big enough. You know, it's a decent size model, so you can see it easily. And I think it looks great. I love the colour scheme of it. And it's, you know, it's going to be a good, fun sports flyer. And with it having the nitro engine, it means I'm going to be able to get some decent flight times out of it. It's a 2-stroke, so it's not going to be complex to run or anything like that. I mean, I know 4-strokes easy to run, but there's a lot more that can go wrong with them. So it's kind of going to be, I wouldn't say an everyday flyer that you just throw in the car, but certainly if you want to just have a good solid day's flying, do some sports flying, do some aerobatics, and you know, spend a whole day down the flying field with a bottle of fuel, then this is going to be the perfect model, I think, which is the exact reason why I decided to buy it. Okay, so that wraps up this video. Hope you've enjoyed watching that and enjoying the unboxing. So next job, of course, is to get on with putting it together. It should be pretty straightforward. It's not complicated build. So I'm hoping to have this turned around fairly quickly. And you never know, we might even be able to maiden it this year, but the weather, certainly for the next few weeks, is looking horrendous in the UK. I'm desperate to maiden my Nat, Tony Nilehouse Nat, that I've just finished building, but just haven't had the weather, but you never know. So yeah, if you're interested in following along to this build, then please, as I said at the start, subscribe to my channel to watch more of these sorts of videos, and I'll go through the basic assembly of this and getting the engine installed, obviously, radio gear, all that stuff. So there's a few bits and bobs we've got to do. It will keep me busy for a couple of weeks. So I better get this cleared away before my wife gets back, so I'll get this all packed into the box. But yeah, stay tuned. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for all your support. Thanks a lot to everyone who hasn't subscribed. And if you could really help me out by hitting that subscribe button, that would be great. And give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And I shall see you soon for the next one.